You mentioned earlier that they had a lot of leverage because you approached them. I'm curious what your leverage was. Were they ready to retire essentially, like you just mentioned?
I
Or,
I don't
what
know,
was it for them?
without talking out of school, I don't know, what their plan was, or if they had a
Okay.
plan. I think because I presented them with this, and they it was very important for them once we got talking and got to know each other for them to understand that there was going to be a continuation of their company. So,
Hmm.
2 of the 300 were founders of the company 40 years ago, and, they did literally grow it from 0 and, did a great job doing so. So I think they did have a hope that somebody was gonna keep um, that business alive and keep it operating for the folks that work there. Um, but I don't know that they had, an exit strategy. That's one thing I would encourage folks uh, to look at, no matter where you are in your career development or your business ownership, entrepreneurship. I'll use an example. When I bought Apogee 13 years ago, I met with my attorney, and the very first question was, after he said, "I understand what you're doing here, why you're doing it, but what I want you to do is go home tonight and write your exit strategy right now. And what does it look like?" And that was, I was only 43 years old.
This is you
Uh,
as you were starting the new great adventure.
as I was starting, he said, "Figure out how you're
Wow.
going to get out first, and then file that away somewhere. You might change it 5 times between now and then, but come up with a plan so that you have some kind of viewpoint of what that looks like when you're ready to do it."
That's a
And
bit of a buzzkill.
yeah, some people just close the doors and send their folks home and ride off into the sunset. But
Yeah.
obviously, they didn't want that. But I don't really know otherwise what their plan was. In our prior transaction with Francine at FB, she had made a conscious decision that she wanted to retire, and she approached me because we knew each other and we were local to her and had um, you know um, some connection over the years. So that's how that happened. So she at least had a client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you're doing with brands, because you mentioned FB displays and is that brand still exists as its own, or is it a part of Apogee and it's now
Yeah.
Apogee's on the building out there? What does that look
Both
like?
both
Very
brands
curious.
for now are going to remain, and especially because of the space in their respective industries or markets that they reside in. We think it's important. So obviously in Buffalo, FB has been there for Francine owned her business for 30 years. Was the name in town for portable modular displays, and was our biggest competitor in Buffalo for 30 years. And so her place is very well known. So now that's a division of Apogee, and the exhibits are more in Syracuse. Quite frankly, probably more for the museum work than for the trade show work. We are going to retain that brand as a division of Apogee. Our goal is to meld them into Apogee, but we want to do that on a very gradual basis, and we have to do a lot of marketing, a lot of brand awareness to do that. That's going to take a couple of years, but they will not entirely go away immediately, anyways.
Love the discipline
Hmm.
that shows, Mark, to keeping that brand, not being disruptive. Um, it's great for employees and stability. Although I am aware of the giant caricature of your face that you're now having added to each of those logos. So that'll be you're the new crazy Eddie of the New York exhibit mark. No, no, no. It really it. I think there's a great statement, and if any of your new employees are listening, I can tell you how rare. There's a lot of times you see a buyer, I see ego creep in, and they want a name change quickly or whatever, and showcase the critical mass of the buying company. For what it's worth, I think you're making absolutely the right decision for customer, for brand, for the employees by doing that. So
And it was very important for us, also for the customers of each of these organizations, um, not to see any change on the surface. Just an expanded, broader offering of support and services, and cool stuff that we bring to the table, that the clients that they currently have may not have seen previously. So, and it's not to knock the organizations at all. It's just what they decided to do and what they decided to focus on. And they were very good at doing that. And I think there's an argument to be made for running a business model that way too.
yeah,
But we didn't want the employees to be disrupted, nor the clients out of the gate, and that was paramount importance for us.